not that we don't know how to solve them. The problem is we don't have distribution. We know the cure for measles, for mumps, for malaria, for waterborne eye diseases. We know the cure for a lot of the major things, typhus, yellow fever. We've known these cures for a long time. Why are they still here? 1 billion people will get malaria this year, somewhere around the world. Why? Why? Because we don't have leaders who say, enough's enough, we're going to stop this. We're going to stop it. Nobody gets malaria in America anymore. It used to be a big problem in malaria. We wiped it out. They learned how to wipe it out in Panama 100 years ago when they built the Panama Canal. And so the key issue is having the wherewithal to have the distribution to get it out into different areas. And that's where churches can help in distribution. C is care for the sick. And the last E is educate the next generation. And I love Rwanda's emphasis on education. You know, now, about 60% of this nation was not alive when the genocide happened. This is a young nation. That gives me great, great hope for Rwanda. It gives me hope for the businesses, it gives me hope for the churches, it gives me hope for the government, because I see a generation that's coming up that was mentored by a generation that went through the most horrific thing ever and survived and thrived and learned forgiveness, learned reconciliation. I have actually met with Middle Eastern leaders, and I've told them that the model for Middle East peace is actually here. It's in Rwanda. I think the things that were done in Rwanda after the genocide are the exact same things that need to be done in the Middle East. And where you have two different groups, who this group was killing all this group, and how do you get people to live together in harmony and unity? So on Monday, we're doing an all-day pastors conference. I always come and I train pastors. We've had over 4,000 pastors complete 3 years of training. We're helping do continuing education. We're trying to raise the education level of all the pastors in this country. Saddleback Church actually owns a seminary. It's an accredited seminary called Rockbridge Seminary. And so we can help people, pastors, get accreditation and grow in their academic and educational skills. But on Tuesday morning at the convention center, we're going to bring all three groups together. I have invited all the mayors. All the mayors. I've invited them all to come. We have invited all the key government leaders. We've invited the key business leaders, and we've invited key pastors to come. And I will be teaching on leadership. I've been teaching on leadership for 35 years. I've taught it at the United Nations. I've taught it at Davos World Economic Forum. I've taught it in over 100 different countries on leadership. But my love is Rwanda. And that's why I'm here, and I care about this country. I will say one other thing, that as the peace plan and purpose driven began to develop in this country in the last 14 years, other nations have begun to take notice of what's happening. I've had calls from 8 presidents of other African nations who have called me and said, when are you going to bring the Rwanda model to our nation? And I told them, well, we're just one church, and we can't go to every nation like the way I've had. Over 3,000 members of my church have come and served in Rwanda. 3,000 members of my church have come and served in Rwanda. We sent judges to help train judges. We sent police to help train police. We sent over 120 nurses to train nurses. We've sent farmers to train farmers. We've obviously sent pastors to train pastors. We've sent entrepreneurs to train entrepreneurs.